Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Moore, and will be my second podcast for Dr. Todd Davis. In this podcast, we will be talking about the news article from CBS. It is called UMass Coach Suspended for Comparing Missed Calls to Rape. This article is about when the University of Massachusetts lost a football game to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio in 2018. It mentions how their head football coach compared the game they had just lost to rape. He quotes, "We had a chance there with 16 down and they rape us and pick up the flags." He is referring to the officials that were calling the game for various quote-unquote bad calls. I do not think it was appropriate for the coach to compare their game to rape, and that is not a comparison that should be made because it is such a serious matter. Based off the article and seeing what Coach Wimple, who is the UMass head coach, they have with him being head coach, they have a 14-40 record ever since 2014, and his contract with them extends all the way to 2020. So it sounds a lot like is based off the frustration from a losing season, because at that point they already had 3 losses, which is no good reasons to make that comparison still. From that quote he made, he got a 1-week suspension from the football team, and their head defensive coordinator was their intramural coach for that week, head coach. I don't think that this is a long enough suspension for the coach. He should have gotten either a little more or fined as on top of it. And based off of his track record of 14-40 win to loss, it might have been a good time either then or at the end of the season to part ways with him. An article I found from The Conversation called "Toughen Up, Snowflake. Sports coaches can be emotionally abusive. Here's how to recognize it," by Chris Zencher. A former UK swimmer named Karen Leach revealed the long-term impact of what sexual, mental, physical, and emotional abuse she has been subjected to by her former Olympic coach when she was a younger swimmer. Then another U.S. swimmer named Ariana Kukos filed a lawsuit against her coach for sexual abuse. Coaches these days are still from an older time when that kind of stuff was more common and no one said anything or raised any red flags. People nowadays they are starting to get smarter and knowing better, and they start to share that information if someone has been sexually, mentally, or physically abused. And the reason they do this is because they know if they tell the right people, they're not going to get any repercussions from that coach, like a punishment, like some kind of various punishment or less playing time. Because if it's proven, it is a serious offense that in most cases result in the firing of that coach. However, these days I do believe that kids are being raised too protective. They don't want them getting yelled at or told that they did something wrong. This doesn't help the child out when trying to learn a sport when they do something wrong. And this results in a pat on the back and reinforces that behavior and sets them up for failure down that road. Both by making them learn the wrong techniques, which will lead to another coach in their future potentially yelling at them. This will lead them to get hurt feelings and not be able to handle the criticism in a constructive manner. But I also think that yelling is not always the right course of action when dealing with kids of all ages. The reason it is used so much is because coaches see it as the best way to get through the kids, especially if they're stubborn. So this is my podcast, and I do believe that the coach was wrong for comparing his loss to being raped. If you have any questions or comments, please comment. Thank you again. Have a good day.